So the early parts of the game, there's some little half moments for both teams, but it's not a game where we were able to get any control. The first goal is a bad one from our side. There's a misunderstanding. Tomas ends up really getting caught. And then we need a really strong response. That in a hard game, somehow we've gone down. But we let that affect us. And now we find ourselves down 3. We have a little bit at the end of the half, including Raheem's chance that hits the post. We make changes. And I thought start the second half well. But again, some big chances that we don't do enough with. And in the second half, they really get the one chance. So it's a bad loss. Kansas City played well. We know they're a good team. So as they come in here, our understanding that we need to be at our best, we need to be sharp, that they're going to try to press us in the same ways that we press teams. And for whatever reason, it took us too long to really understand the tempo of the game. I think, as I mentioned, that part picked up in the second half. Probably since they had the lead, their side dropped a little bit. And then what you need when you're down like that is to really take advantage of some chances to make the game closer faster. When you're pushing and then the next thing you know, they get one chance and it's up to 4, then really at that point you're fighting for pride and respect. I'll give our guys credit on that end. Like I said, I thought that part of the second half was fair enough. But now after 17 games, there's been a lot of days where we've played pretty well, but there's 2 things that come back the most. That's still not efficient enough, not sharp enough when we get attacking chances, and then still hurting ourselves with some big mistakes. So we've got to really play every game from here on out, understanding the details and getting everybody on board from the beginning of the game. You can't start a game where you've got 2, 3, 4 guys that just aren't up to the speed of the game.
Thanks, Bob. We're going to start here with Katya Castorena. Katya, go ahead when you're ready.
Thanks, Ben. Hi, Bob. Where do you guys feel you came short in the first half when Kansas was attacking, with numbers in particular?
Yeah, they won some balls in the midfield. They attacked very quickly from there. So in transition in some moments, they came at us fast. It's also a game where they have 5 shots on goal and 4 goals. So, it's not a game where it's just coming at us the whole time, but in transition in some key moments, they attacked quickly. In those moments, sometimes it's that we're not good enough with the ball. Sometimes they've done well to close us and press us and win the ball and go quickly. And then our ability just to defend in transition. I think the third goal was an example where we didn't do that part well enough.
I know there are no excuses, but how difficult it is when you don't have 2 guys that have been such regulars like Eddie and Moody, especially when you're facing a team that's leading the West in offense.
Look, Eddie and Murray are good players, important players. But we've defended well as a team all year, so there's no excuses.
And lastly, some of the positives that you mentioned, seeing the young guys make an impact late in the game, having those options moving forward, what does that mean?
It's important. We especially with Eddie's injury, getting Mamadou Fall 45 minutes tonight, that's very important. Still, at times, some depth at right back, so Alvaro gets his first crack at things. So those are things that you could see over the course of the first half of the season, guys making progress, and tonight becomes important that those guys get opportunity. I thought Pancho came on at halftime and in the second half gave a good effort, so those are some of the positives.
Thank you.
And goal by Danny Musovski, so that's also positive.
Thanks. Andy Diosa?
Hey, Bob, just 2 quick ones on my end. Is there any clarity or any update on the severity of Murillo's injury just going forward?
It's not too bad, so I can't tell you what that means for Sunday. But it's a minor hamstring strain that we, of course, in this period of the season need to be very careful with. But we don't believe it's an injury that will keep him out for a long period of time.
Okay, and then secondly, I mean, obviously, just the fact of dropping points in general is worrying. But is it a little bit actually added pressure, the fact that you guys have been dropping points at home at all, or is it just in general just the losses or the results piling up?
Yeah, it's never good to drop points at home. And so when you sum up everything in the first half of the season, that's certainly an area that isn't good enough. And so our ability at home, 2 games, when 2 games recently where we got behind, not just by a goal, but by multiple goals. And I mentioned at the beginning that you can take the initiative in the game. We didn't tonight, but you can. That doesn't guarantee that you'll score first. And so if somehow you give up the first goal, your ability as a team to respond immediately at that moment and make sure that there's a real push to get to 1-1, but in a way that doesn't allow the other team that chance to take it to 2. And so that's an area that we've talked about. And again, tonight it's not only 2, but it's 3.